When your own child turns away from you, it feels like a piece of your heart has been shattered. This isn't just sadness, it's a deep, profound grief. If you're going through parental alienation, what you're feeling is real, it's valid, and it has a name. Today we're going to talk about the 5 stages of grief as they apply to this incredibly painful experience, not to put you in a box, but to help you understand your own heart and find a path toward healing. The first stage is denial. This is that moment of sheer disbelief. You hear the words, you see the actions, but your mind just can't process it. This can't be happening. Not my child. This is just a phase. They'll come around. Denial is a natural defense mechanism. It's our brain's way of putting on emotional anesthesia, numbing us to the overwhelming shock. It gives us a moment to breathe before the full weight of the situation crashes down. In the short term, this can be protective, but staying in denial for too long is dangerous. It stops us from seeing the reality of the situation, which can delay us from seeking legal help, getting therapy, or taking the necessary steps to protect our own well-being. It's the stage where you might keep making excuses for your child or the other parent, holding onto a reality that, sadly, no longer exists. Recognizing when you're in denial is the first step toward moving through it. Then comes anger. Once the initial shock wears off and the painful reality starts to sink in, it's often replaced by a hot, burning anger. And this anger can be directed everywhere. You might be furious with your ex-partner for manipulating your child and destroying your family. You might feel rage toward the legal system that seems powerless or biased. You might even feel anger at friends or family who don't understand or offer unhelpful advice. Sometimes this anger turns inward and you blame yourself, replaying every past mistake. You might even feel flashes of anger toward your child, which is immediately followed by a crushing wave of guilt. Let me be clear, this anger is completely normal. It's a natural response to profound injustice and loss. The key is not to let this anger consume you. Unmanaged, it can poison your spirit and damage your emotional health. Finding healthy outlets, like intense exercise, screaming into a pillow, or talking it out with a trusted friend or therapist, is absolutely essential. Your anger is a sign that you have been deeply hurt, and it deserves to be acknowledged, not suppressed. After the fire of anger, you might find yourself in the bargaining stage. This is the what if and if only phase. It's driven by a desperate hope that you can somehow fix this, that you can turn back time. You might start making promises you can't keep, either to yourself, your child, or even a higher power. If I just buy them that gift, maybe they'll talk to me. If I agree to all of my ex's demands, maybe they'll stop this. If I just try one more time to explain everything, they'll finally understand. You might find yourself compromising your own values or boundaries in a desperate attempt to reconnect. This stage is a roller coaster of hope and crushing disappointment. You get a small sign of progress, a brief text message, a moment of eye contact, and your hope soars. But when the connection is severed again, the fall is even harder. Bargaining is rooted in the understandable desire to regain control over a situation that feels completely out of your control. But it often leads to a cycle of pain because you're trying to reason with an unreasonable situation. When bargaining fails and the reality of your powerlessness sets in, the heavy fog of depression often rolls in. This stage is characterized by an overwhelming sense of sadness, hopelessness, and exhaustion. The fight goes out of you. You might withdraw from friends and social activities. You might feel a profound sense of isolation, believing that no one could possibly understand what you're going through. Your self-worth can plummet. You might start questioning everything about yourself as a parent. Was I a bad parent? Is this all my fault? Maybe they are better off without me. This is, without a doubt, one of the most difficult and dangerous stages. The pain can feel unbearable. It's during this time that seeking support is not just helpful, it is critical. Reaching out to a therapist who specializes in grief or parental alienation can be a lifeline. Connecting with a peer support group full of other parents who are walking the same path can break through the suffocating isolation. They get it. They won't judge you. They will remind you that you are not alone in this darkness. And finally, we arrive at acceptance. Now, this is the most misunderstood stage of all. Acceptance does not mean you're okay with what happened. It doesn't mean you approve of the alienation or that you're giving up on your child forever. It's not about surrender. It's about acknowledging the reality of the situation right now. It means accepting what you cannot change or control at this moment. It's letting go of the desperate fight to change the unchangeable and instead turning that energy inward toward your own healing. Acceptance is the moment you stop letting the situation dictate your emotional state. It's where you start to find peace, not because the problem is solved, but because you've decided to reclaim your own life. This shift is incredibly empowering. It frees you to focus on rebuilding your own sense of self, to find joy again, and to remain a stable, healthy, and open parent, ready for a future connection that isn't based on pressure or desperation. Now, it's really important to understand how these stages actually work in real life. It's not a neat, linear checklist. You don't just graduate from denial to anger and never look back. Grief is messy. You will likely bounce back and forth between stages. A good day might be followed by a week where you feel like you're right back in the depths of depression. A memory might trigger a fresh wave of anger. This is normal. There is no right way to grieve and no set timeline. Your journey is your own. The real power in naming these stages is that it gives you a language to understand your own experience. It helps you articulate your pain to therapists, friends, or family who might not grasp the unique agony of parental alienation. It helps you realize you aren't going crazy. You are grieving a profound loss. So, how do you navigate this? Let's talk about some real, practical coping strategies. First, professional support is non-negotiable. A good therapist can help you process this complex grief and give you tools to manage the emotional roller coaster. Second, find your people. Peer support groups, whether online or in person, are invaluable. Connecting with others who truly understand is one of the most powerful ways to combat isolation. Third, prioritize self-care. This isn't a luxury, it's a survival tactic. Move your body, eat nourishing food, get enough sleep, and make time for hobbies that bring you even a flicker of joy. Self-care is how you refuel for this marathon. Fourth, establish and hold firm boundaries. This might mean limiting contact with your ex, or even stepping back from interactions that are consistently harmful to your mental health. Protecting your peace is not selfish. And finally, consider journaling. Writing down your thoughts and feelings can be an incredible way to clarify what's going on in your head and heart. It creates a record of your journey, allowing you to look back and see how far you've come, even on days when it feels like you've made no progress at all. The big takeaway here is this: parental alienation causes a legitimate, deep, and complex form of grief. By recognizing these stages, you can stop blaming yourself for your emotional responses. You can give yourself permission to feel what you feel: the anger, the sadness, the desperation. Understanding this process is the first step toward moving through the pain, rather than being stuck in it. Acceptance is not the end of hope. In fact, it's the beginning of a different kind of hope, one that's grounded in your own inner peace and resilience. It's the foundation from which you can build a healthier future for yourself, and perhaps one day, for the relationship with your child. Healing is possible. It is a long, difficult road, but you can find your way back to yourself even when the situation feels impossibly unfair. If you are struggling with these issues, please know that support is available. You can reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline or connect with mental health professionals in your area. You don't have to go through this alone. Thank you for watching, and if this helped, please consider subscribing for more content on healing and recovery. Take care of yourself.